Most people underestimate the power of small wins. They want the results before even planting the seed. But in real life, it's the cultivation, the quiet work, the emotional control in the face of frustration that builds the foundation. And you know what's funny? Those who focus on growing solidly usually get there faster than the ones in a rush. The secret is mastering time, not trying to outrun it. That's why the beginning is the most important part of the journey. Point A is your training ground, the place where your mindset toughens up, your patience matures, and your purpose takes shape. Once you get that, the path stops being a burden and turns into a lesson. And it's right there, when most people want to quit, that the game starts to change. At the start of any journey toward financial freedom, the key factor isn't how much you make, it's how much you can invest. The foundation of all growth lies in the consistency of your contributions, even when they seem small. This phase tests your discipline and your commitment to the future. Many mess up by focusing only on returns and ignoring the value of habit. But without that first brick, there's no building at all. It's like trying to harvest without planting, a self-deception that entrepreneurship exposes real quick. Doubling your contributions can cut your path to the first million by up to 8 years. 8 fewer years of hard work, just for deciding to invest earlier. That shows the power of self-confidence mixed with smart action. Here's where emotional control really kicks in. Keeping up your contributions even when it feels like the money isn't growing. Because this is a long game, and those who get that build solid structures, not sandcastles. The real turning point happens when investing stops feeling like an effort and becomes a lifestyle. Each investment is a reminder that results come to those who plant with patience. And the coolest part? That's exactly when the challenge starts to reveal its true value. At first, everything feels slow. You invest, you wait, and the results barely move. Frustrating, right? But that's exactly how it starts. Compound interest is shy in the beginning, almost invisible, like a seed breaking through the soil. The trick is staying consistent, even when nothing seems to be happening. The biggest enemy in this stage is impatience. Your mind wants to quit, your heart doubts, and your wallet complains. But that's when true emotional control is born, the kind that separates talkers from doers. Each month you keep investing. Even without seeing returns, you're training your discipline and long-term vision. Entrepreneurship teaches that the beginning is the faith test. It's when your self-confidence gets tested, and the weak usually drop out. But those who understand time know that interest is like a snowball. It starts small, but quickly gains speed and force. Most people want to skip that phase, but it's actually the one that builds the base for success. The first 10K, 50K might feel slow, but they're the foundation for the next 100,000. And when that number shows up, something shifts. The game finally starts playing in your favor. When your assets hit the point where money starts working for you, everything changes. It's the start of a quiet turning point, the sign of a new era, the so-called 100,000 mark. Reaching 100,000 Rs is like crossing an invisible border. Up until that point, every step feels heavy. Every reel invested feels too slow. But when that number hits your account, everything changes. Compound interest wakes up, and your money starts working for you. It's that moment when consistency and discipline finally show their quiet power. From there, growth speeds up almost magically. What used to take 10 years might now take only 1. It's the turning point of the journey, when entrepreneurship becomes a strategy game instead of one of survival. And that's when many realize time was always on the side of those who knew how to wait. This milestone isn't just financial, it's emotional. It represents self-confidence, emotional control, and living proof that results come to those who keep going when no one else believes. The feeling is almost addictive. Watching your money grow on its own is like seeing a tree finally bear fruit after years of care. What's wild is that this moment creates a new mindset, the understanding that multiplying is faster than building. Your energy shifts, your focus changes, your perspective expands. It's like the universe saying, all right, now you're ready for the next level. And once this new phase kicks off, a big question naturally comes up. How can you speed up growth even more without losing balance? The answer lies in the next strategy, the one that turns effort into power. There comes a time when saving the same amount every month just isn't enough. If the goal is to speed up your path to financial freedom, you've got to increase your investments. That doesn't mean living on scraps or giving up everything. It means rethinking choices, cutting what doesn't add value, and refocusing your energy. Entrepreneurship teaches that every consciously saved reel is another step toward independence. The magic lies in consistency. Once you realize money is a tool, not the goal, you start managing your budget strategically. And the funny thing is, both body and mind adapt fast. What once felt like sacrifice becomes habit. Discipline turns into disguised freedom because every month of effort buys you years of peace later. This is where emotional control speaks louder. The urge to splurge has to give way to the self-confidence of someone with a long-term vision. It's not about deprivation, it's about preparation. Every increase in investment is like telling the universe, I'm committed to my results. And somehow, the universe always answers those who truly commit. Raising your investments is like turbocharging your life. It's when money stops slipping away and starts working for you. The game gets more exciting, the progress more visible. But for it to really work, you've got to look deeper into what drives growth. Boosting your investment starts at home and in your mind. There's no financial freedom without budget control. You've got to know exactly where your money's going. The problem is plenty of people confuse earning more with spending more, and that's where things stall. Entrepreneurship shows that true wealth comes from consistency in managing what you already have. Getting your budget organized is step one toward real results. Separate needs from wants. Set a fixed percentage to invest. 15%, 20%, even 30% of your income. The number matters less than the consistency. This phase demands discipline because cutting expenses takes more courage than spending carelessly. But the biggest challenge is behavior. As income grows, lifestyle tends to rise with it, and that's where many sabotage their own progress. Emotional control means resisting the urge to inflate your lifestyle before your wealth grows. It's realizing that real comfort comes from security, not appearances. Self-confidence comes from that mastery, knowing you're in charge and money no longer controls you. That feeling is freeing, almost addictive. Every time you choose to invest instead of spend, you reinforce the identity of someone building their destiny. And once that behavior becomes second nature, another thought kicks in. If I've already mastered my spending, the next step is to increase my income. That's when the game completely changes. Cutting spending matters, but eventually, you can't cut anymore. That's when the second step of financial freedom comes in, increasing income. And no, it's not about overworking yourself into exhaustion. It's about finding new ways to create value. Entrepreneurship is the art of turning what you know into something the market values. The key is finding your value zone, that sweet spot where what you love meets what you do well and what people are willing to pay for. Once you hit that point, money stops being a fight and becomes a consequence. It's consistency powered by intelligence and purpose. Sure, it's scary at first. Stepping into the unknown takes self-confidence and emotional control. But every major transformation starts with a bold move. And those with the discipline to learn, test, and adapt inevitably reap results that even surprise themselves. Creating new sources of income is like opening windows in a once dark house. Suddenly the light pours in. And with that light comes clarity. The issue was never lack of opportunity, but lack of vision. And when vision expands, you discover something even stronger. There's a way to multiply all this, speed up your earnings, and break any limit. The power of digital. The digital world changed everything. Today, anyone who understands entrepreneurship and uses the internet with consistency holds a tool that can multiply results exponentially. Before, it took years to build a stable income. Now, a solid online strategy can shrink that timeline down to months. The catch? Digital isn't a shortcut. It's a new highway, faster and full of opportunity. The content creator who once started with a small, anonymous finance blog learned this in real time. No fame, no spotlight, just discipline and a will to teach what he knew. Eventually, he started earning through affiliates and ads. Bit by bit, he realized that shared knowledge is the new gold of the 21st century. Those who master this game learn there's no ceiling to growth. The internet is the perfect stage for those with self-confidence and emotional control to stay the course even when the metrics don't yet show up. It's a space where the persistent thrive and the impatient quit. Every post, video, or piece of content is an invisible investment, one that later turns into authority, opportunities, and income. And the best part is watching the cycle repeat. The more value you deliver, the bigger your return. That's the digital multiplier effect in action. Those who understand it don't just raise their income, they change their relationship with time and work entirely. That acceleration power helped countless people achieve the unthinkable, turning years of effort into months of progress. What once seemed like a distant dream is now within reach. And that's where the true accelerating effect begins. When digital steps in, time seems to double. What used to take 12 years offline can now happen in 7 months. It's the accelerator effect, when entrepreneurship, consistency, and discipline click together perfectly. And the wild part? This breakthrough isn't luck. It's built by people who understand that growth naturally follows serving and creating value. The second million always comes faster than the first because now your wealth doesn't rely on physical effort alone. It relies on the system you built. Your mind is sharper, your emotional control steadier, and your self-confidence turns from hope into identity. What used to be hard becomes automatic. What seemed impossible becomes your new normal. This is where the game scales up. The digital world becomes a real time machine, multiplying your investments, connections, and opportunities. Those who learn to leverage it realize it's not luck, it's strategy. It's as if the universe rewards those who dared to start when no one was watching. The speed of your results is simply a reflection of your level of commitment. The more value you create, the more time seems to play in your favor. It's the cycle of accelerated growth, where each step opens doors you didn't even know existed. And in the middle of that exponential race, one more question appears. If growth can be this fast, what's left to multiply it even more? The answer's simple. Keep going until you lock in your first win, then use it as fuel for your next big breakthrough. In the end, it all comes down to a choice. Stay still waiting for the right moment, or create it right now. Digital isn't a game of luck, and it's a game of presence. The ones who win are the doers, those who act, test, fail, adjust, and come back stronger. The consistent ones always outlast any magic formula. The future doesn't belong to those who know the most. It belongs to those who do the most with what they have today. That's what separates dreamers from achievers. The world's changing too fast to wait for certainty, and those who learn to act through fear find out fear was just the first step toward freedom. If you feel ready to turn the game around, this is your moment. Start small, but start now. Every action counts. Every step builds. Every try brings you closer. Success doesn't happen overnight. It's the invisible sum of all those days you refuse to quit. And remember, nobody's gonna believe in you until you take the first step. So go. Do it. Show it. Time will pass anyway, but results only show up for those who choose to act. The first step to changing your life is just one click away. Watch the next video and see how to turn effort into structure and dreams into real achievements.